Hello everyone and welcome to another casual review. Today I'm talking about Yoshi and the Mysterious Book. In this one, Yoshi is tasked by a sentient book named Mr. E to research the creatures that are within his pages. By research, I mean pretty much expose this creature to anything and everything that is in the level that is curated for it. You can also see how Yoshi interacts with it. So you'll encounter a creature and you'll try to eat it, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But either way, you will unlock a research star for doing so. You can see what this creature does when you jump on it or ground pound it. Yoshi has a new ability where he kind of swoops his tail, and sometimes he can scoop enemies up and put them on his back, and suddenly Yoshi kind of inherits those creatures' abilities. So you can see what this creature does when you toss it to another creature, or what happens to this creature when you are underwater, or when you feed it an apple or a hot pepper. Most of these creatures have some sort of special mechanic that you can utilize in order to navigate the level that you are placed in. So maybe you'll encounter a creature that kind of floats in the sky, or you'll encounter a creature that can speed through the dirt, or a creature that can blow bubbles for you to hop into. And if I was to give this game praise for anything, it certainly would be the wide diversity of creatures that you will be encountering, and just the many unique ideas that these creatures bring up mechanically. Now, as you accrue these stars, you will unlock new chapters, I guess, and each of these chapters is like its own unique biome. So you'll go to like a beachy kind of chapter, or one that's in a giant tree, or one that's all about like bugs and mini things. And I would say, as long as you go to each creature and you try to do all of the things that you can think about doing with the creature, you will accrue plenty of these stars in order to progress through the game. In order to quote unquote like finish the creature's level, there is like a unique objective that you have to do. There's not usually like a point A and a point B in these levels. They're a lot more open-ended and a lot more sandboxy in that way. But let's say you encounter a creature that's all about fishing. In order to finish that fishing level, you need to fish out the biggest fish. And once you complete this main objective for each creature, you will then be given the option to name the creature. And if you can't come up with a name, Mr. E will have some sort of recommended name to give these creatures. Usually I just went with whatever he said, but it is kind of cool that you're given the option to name these creatures yourself. There are like creature crossover levels where you get to see how two of these creatures interact with each other, and so it is fun naming one of the creatures to have it return back later. You're going to be encountering a lot of brand new creatures that you've never seen before, but if you've played a lot of Yoshi and Mario games, you'll encounter, you know, your Shy Guys, the ravens, the bird things, I can't remember what they're called, some piranha plants, and you get to see like how the piranha plants act like as a little baby forms, and then you get to feed them and basically like evolve the piranha plants. And so for those creatures that already have tried and true names, I did find it a little funny to give them the opposite name. So instead of a Shy Guy, we called them bold gals. At the end of each of these chapters, you'll encounter a really big creature to interact with, and sometimes they're friendly, other times they're not. As far as like damage or game overs, you're not going to get any of those. It's a very low stakes game. It's very casual. So if you do get hit, you just kind of teleport back to the beginning. No big deal. The nature of this game is very low stakes. You're just there to kind of do sandboxy platforming, sandboxy fun. The story is also fairly low stakes. Essentially, like how Mr. E, the book, fell onto the Yoshi Island is Baby Bowser got his hands on it, and he ended up getting like sucked into the book, and Kamek went in after the book after Baby Bowser. And so you'll encounter this dynamic duo at least like once a chapter. Baby Bowser's all about searching for this bewilder bird, like a mystical creature in Mr. E's book. Sometimes you'll be battling against Baby Bowser and Kamek, other times you'll be trying to rescue them from another big creature that ate them or trapped them. But the objective isn't like save the world or anything like that. It's just, hey, experiment with these creatures and see what they're all about. If you are the type that likes to 100% complete games, I think you're going to get a lot out of this game. If you're the type of gamer who just wants to get to the end of the credits, you're going to find this game fairly monotonous and boring. Because there is a lot to really unpack here if you want to do so. If you want to unlock all of the potential things that you could learn about these creatures. It will give you sometimes hints if you're struggling to find out what else you can do with these creatures, and you can pay a coin currency in order to unlock a better hint for what to do with these creatures. Pretty much how I played the game is I would go into a level, I would do everything that I could possibly think of with this creature, and then I'd move on. And then I kind of held the mentality that after I rolled the credits, if I wanted to, then I would go back and start fulfilling out these little hints in order to completely research everything about these creatures. And one of the weird things about this game is once you do chapter 5, it rolls the credits, and it kind of makes you think, okay, that was the end of the game? That was a really short game. And then there's like 5 more chapters after that, and so really you're only like halfway through the game once you roll the credits. But as far as like the currency goes, you will find these coins scattered throughout all of the levels. It does have amiibo functionality, but unfortunately the only thing that it does when you scan these Yoshi amiibo is give you more coins. And so, yeah, I wish that the coins themselves unlocked maybe different cosmetics or different colored Yoshis. You are able to choose from an assortment of about 10 different colors of Yoshis, but I felt like the other Yoshi games had a bunch of cosmetics, costumes that your Yoshi could wear to deck out your Yoshi and have extra things to unlock. So that was a disappointment that there's not really a ton to unlock in this game. You're not getting rewarded a ton besides the addition of these extra chapters. There are these happy flowers hidden throughout each level, you know, ranging from like 3 to 7 happy flowers, and you have to utilize the creature's abilities in order to find these happy flowers. And these happy flowers do unlock these tools that you can place around your HUD. Some of these tools are useful, like they have a little compass pointing to the nearest enemy, or the nearest apple, or the nearest happy flower, and so you can utilize these tools in order to 100% complete this game. Other tools are a lot more useless in terms of like, oh, it ranges, you can see what temperature Yoshi is, or how many steps Yoshi has made, or what Yoshi's elevation is. And I can't think of any in-game situation that you'd want to know this information, but if you wanted to just plaster your HUD full of useless tools, then you are free to do so once you've unlocked them. I actually really like the visuals, especially when Yoshi hops into Mr. E's pages. He kind of becomes a little more stop motion. He looks more illustrated, and then when he hops out of Mr. E's pages, then he's more like a 3D style. And so I liked the dynamic between these, and I do like when you're inside Mr. E's pages, there are like faded letters and things like that to indicate that you are actually in a book. There's not too many memorable songs. It's a lot more subtle than that. It's incredibly charming, as you would expect from a Yoshi game. Yoshi sounds cute, the creatures are cute, the world is all happy and lively and colorful. So the game does have a lot of charm, but really if you're looking for a challenging game, if you're looking for something to really test your mettle, this game is not it. This game is just to hop in and kind of mess around. And I think this type of game for me is enjoyable for maybe an hour or two max, and then I need to take a break and move on to something a little more stimulating. But it's always fun to come back to this game when I want something a little more chill, like a more chill experience to wind down after some hardcore gaming. It's a really good game to play like right before bed because the stakes are just so low and you're just there to mess around with these creatures. If you want a little more structure than that, once you do roll the credits and do all the chapters, there's a little shadowy creature that will kind of hover around specific tasks that you haven't accomplished for creatures. And this just gives you a little incentive like, hey, go try and unlock this research for this creature and you'll be rewarded some coins. Now, I mean, by the end of the game, I had so many coins that I didn't know what to do with, but if you want something a little more specific, if you want to be pointed in a specific direction, that gives you something a little extra to aim for because you will be incentivized by this currency. It is a shorter game. Took me maybe 10 to 13 hours to beat all 10 chapters. I have not gone back and 100% completed this and did all the research tasks, but it's always there if I have a craving for some Yoshi and the Mysterious Book. Overall, I think I'm going to give this game a 2 out of 5. I didn't find it stimulating enough to really hold my attention all the time, but if you have a more novice gamer or a younger child in your household, I think they might get a big kick out of this one because it's so low stakes and it's not stressful. I think this would be a really good introduction to introducing a child to a two-dimensional platforming game. I do wish that this had some sort of multiplayer mode like other Yoshi games have. I felt like that would have made this game a lot more engaging for maybe parents and children because they can play together. But at the same time, this game isn't really even difficult enough to warrant having a second player. But it would be fun to just kind of like mess around together in this sandboxy environment. Well, folks, that's it for me. Let me know if you have any questions or comments about Yoshi and the Mysterious Book. Otherwise, I'll talk to you later. Bye!
Oh!